The MCA set up a special committee last year comprising of lawyers from MCA to discuss on several proposals amending our law in the Parliament. And one of the focus was to have a recall bill recognizing the core problem of this country was party hopping that created such instability politically in this country. So I think there are many kind of proposal, different version on anti-hopping law in this country. And taking the note that we have a Constitution Act 10, right? Article 10 in the Constitution that allows freedom of association, which refrain any anti-hopping law before this. With this as precondition, MCA would now adopted by the CC during our last CC meeting to propose our recall bill. So let me briefly explain MCA's recall bill. All right, there are two parts, two ways to trigger a recall act or recall vote. All right, first, when any member of parliament was elected, the first trigger was from the Speaker of Dewan. All right, if the member of parliament commits an offence under the House of Representatives Recall Act, or convicted any minor offence not amounting to disqualification of office, then the Speaker can notify the Election Commission to trigger a recall vote. Right? Then they'll go for a recall vote. I'll explain later how the recall vote can take place. Next. The second arm is by petition of the particular constituents or the voters. By petition, the voters can apply to start a recall petition with EC on the ground of party hopping. Only on this ground, that your constituents can trigger that. If application successful, then the EC will hold a petition. So we propose a petition runs for 21 days and a threshold of 10% of the state constituents agree, so the recall petition is success, then EC will hold for a recall vote. And of course, if after 21 days, less than 10% signs the petition fails. All right? So when EC hold a recall vote, either by first or second arm, the Election Commission will hold for a recall vote, just like a normal voting days, everything done within 1 day. At least 25% of eligible voters voted in recall vote, and of those, more than 50% for the recall, then the recall vote succeeds. All right? In that manner, MP is defeated in a recall vote, his seat is automatically vacated, and a recall by-election is triggered. A recall MP to be treated as a casual vacancy under Article 54 of the Constitution. Recall by-election will be triggered. Note that the recall MP may not be able to run in a recall by-election. All other rules of usual by-election will apply to the recall by-election. That is how the whole process. But of course, if less than 25% of eligible voters voted in the recall vote, you must achieve that kind of threshold, or less votes for the recall, So they are against it. Let's say my MP in my Kawasan crossed to the other party, and the EC called for a recall, but more people supported this MP, then he will remain. MP can finish his term, and no new recall petition can be brought against him by a petitioner during this term. All right? So you can only have one chance to recall your MP because of party hopping. Of course, the offense base can carry on. All right? So these are the proposal under the MCA Recall Act. It's very clear cut, but of course this is open for discussion. We invite and happily for any organization. In fact, we will reach out to some of the NGOs, the prominent one, for further discussion, for any feedback, so that we can cover all sorts and all angles. And what we are trying to do is, best possible is to make it a government bill, since we are part of the government now.